Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening. I am really happy to be here with you in this live from English Academy. Today, we have amazing things coming up. But before we get started with everything, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm Waira, I'm English Program Manager in English Academy, and I'm going to be your host today, guiding you through all the amazing classes, activities, games, information that we have today. But before we get started, please let me know, where are you joining from? I want to know which countries we have here. Please let us know in the chat. As you tell us, today we have a great co-host, and I'm sure many of you know him already. And we have Cesar. Hi, Cesar. How are you today?
Hi, Wai. I'm very happy to be back here on our Tuesday live. Very excited to share with the community. We are going to have a wonderful class with a wonderful teacher and also a very fun game to practice our vocabulary. So I'm very excited to be here today with you.
Amazing, Cesar. I'm excited as well. This time, I don't know what the game will be about, so nice surprise for me. Love it. And we have people from many different countries. I love it. From Mexico, we have, from Venezuela, from Peru, from Chile. Amazing. Okay, some people say they are starting to learn English. That's perfect. This is a space for you to practice your listening, practice your writing skills. If you don't understand everything, it's all right. No worries. Try to understand the main idea. And also remember that we have closed captions, so you can also use them to guide yourselves. So how do you activate closed captions? You need to go on the bottom of the screen. There is like a little gear of options, and next to it you have the CC for closed captions. Click there and activate them. You will see them. I think it's right here on my right. You will see all the closed captions that will help you as well. Cesar, do you have your closed captions activated already?
Of course, it's a great opportunity to practice pronunciation, my listening skills, to improve my pronunciation, because I can listen to the person and I can also read the closed captions, and I can, practice different skills, listening skills, pronunciation skills, reading skills as well. So yeah, mine are activated already.
Amazing. Wonderful. So I hope everybody has them activated at home, because they will help a lot as well. Someone was asking, so yes, go ahead and activate them. And well, let's get started. We have great things this week. We have some interesting events. We have some launches of podcasts and courses that we want to share. So Cesar, what is the first one that you want to share with our community?
There is one podcast that I would like to share with you. If you like traveling, this is the podcast you need to listen to. Okay, I'm going to share the link in the chat. We interviewed one of our producers at Platzi English Academy, and he shares his experiences traveling throughout different countries, different cities. I'm sure you are going to enjoy his adventures, everything he says. He's a very fun guy, and I'm sure you're going to love this podcast episode. So go ahead and check it out. I'm going to share it in the chat at this moment, so you can practice your listening skills, your vocabulary, and you can have fun. Remember that you can listen to the podcast while you are doing something else, while you are cleaning your house, maybe doing the dishes. You can practice your listening skills. What do you think about this podcast episode, Waira?
Well, I have to say, Cesar, that I loved it. I love traveling. And well, there are two highlights for me from this podcast. The first one, it's a very funny story of monkeys. You need to listen to it to understand. It's hilarious. It was very entertaining. And second highlight, this podcast was recorded by Ravi and Sergio, and as you mentioned, and they talk about the perception of traveling and how traveling impacts our lives. And I felt really identified, how you can open your mind through traveling, how the way you travel also shapes the way you experience that city or that country that you are visiting. So I think it's a very deep podcast, I would say. I strongly recommend it for anybody who likes to travel. We have another podcast episode, but I'm going to mention it later on because I have a little surprise with that one. So let's continue with other great news that we have, and it's that we have started our in-person meetups. And the first one is going to be this Thursday. In Bogota, in the studios, we already have people who signed up. Right now, inscriptions are closed, but be tuned, stay tuned, because we will keep doing these meetups. So if you're in Bogota, stay tuned, check Platzi, social media, Instagram, because there was a post about it this morning. What do you feel? What do you think, Cesar, about this meetup that we are having on Thursday?
I'm excited, Waida, because we are going to be reunited with the community. We had our English talks recently in Medellin, and we are going to start having more face-to-face meetups to share with the community, to practice our English skills, to do some co-working, to get to know other people. So this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning of many upcoming meetups that we are going to have for our wonderful community. So I will be there because I'm here in Bogota. So I will be there sharing with you, practicing our English skills, like having fun. So make sure that for the next one, you sign up and you come to practice English with us.
Amazing. I'm really excited. I'm in Bogota too, and I'm going to be there too. So I'm excited to meet our students in person, right? It's our English talks in Medellin was a very nice experience, and having it here in Bogota, meeting other students is wonderful. And Cesar, you mentioned something very important, that is practicing. We know that when we are learning a language, when we are learning English, we need to practice, right? And that's why we have launched this week 2 courses, 2 workshops that will help our students practice their English. Tell us about the workshop about describing your home or your house. What is it about? How is it different from the other courses?
Great, Waida. So yes, yesterday we launched a new course, Describiendo mi casa, describing my house. This one is not a course, it's actually a workshop or a taller. This one is different from a course that you usually see or you have seen in Platts English Academy. You are going to be immersed in a very interactive experience. You are going to see the teacher describing an actual house, like he's describing a house. You are going to learn vocabulary about the kitchen, cutlery, furniture. Also, you are going to be practicing the past, the present, and the future in English. You are going to be practicing grammar, but you are going to be improving your vocabulary related to the house in a very interactive way. You are going to have quizzes. You are going to have fun. That's a great part. With these workshops, you have fun as you learn English. That's the first one. So yeah, we launched it yesterday. It's a great course. We are going to leave the link in the chat so you can check it out, start the classes. Remember that the first 5 classes of the courses are open to everyone. So if you don't have a subscription, that's okay. You can check out the course. You can see what it is like because the first 5 classes are open. It's an amazing experience for you to improve your English. That's the first one. Do you know what the second one is, Waida?
Well, I'm very excited about the second one, Cesar. But before we mention it, I have to say that there are many comments in the chat. People are excited. And there are some questions. What course it is? Where do I find it? You can find it here in the resources in the chat. Down there, you can find the link to the course, okay? I can't wait I haven't checked it yet, to be honest. I haven't done it, but I can't wait to start doing it this week. The second one, it's about one of my favorite things. I love food, and it is related to food. Yes, so this is about cooking. How amazing. Learn English while you are cooking, right? What do you think, Cesar? What do you think about cooking and learning English at the same time?
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. This course is just amazing. I was part of this course. I am not the teacher. The teacher is someone who is passionate about cooking and teaching English. So you are going to feel connected, the way he teaches, the way he shows you everything in every class is special. And you are going to be practicing because this is a taller as well, it's a workshop. So it's very interactive and very practical. You are going to apply and practice your grammar, and you are going to improve your vocabulary. You are going to be able to describe, like the step-by-step process of your recipe, like what ingredients you need, what verbs you use to describe different actions. I am part of the course. I am going to be in one of the classes. I am in one of the classes. It's a role play at the supermarket. It's a very, very nice course. You need to start as soon as this class finishes. Don't leave yet. Okay, watch this live class. But as soon as this live class finishes, you need to go and check out this course. It's just amazing. You are going to be, again, immersed in a wonderful experience as you learn and improve your English and also practice, like your cooking skills.
I love this. I love this because that's English in real life, right? You can learn and practice a lot of vocabulary and grammar with a very practical topic. And well, we all need to eat, so why not cooking and practicing English at the same time, right?
Yes.
And I'm going to invite our students to find that class where you are. When they get to the class where you are, to take a picture and post it and tag you on social media to tell you what they think. What do you say, Cesar?
Yes, yes. And I want to ask everyone a question, and I want to ask you this question as well, Waira. What is your favorite dish? What is that dish that you enjoy cooking so much? And also
Okay.
everyone in the chat, right? Type it in. What is your favorite dish? And what ingredients do you need to cook this dish? If you are not sure about all the vocabulary, all the ingredients, that means that you need to take this course. So, Waira.
This is an interesting question. And you mentioned cooking. I love eating. I love cooking too. But my favorite dish to cook, I would say pasta. I like to make pasta, and I like to invent or try different things with the sauce for the pasta. So I don't have like one specific type of pasta that I like to cook, but just I like to get creative. I like to make this cheese sauce with some milk, or I like to make also a spinach sauce. Well, just name it, and I'll try to make a sauce for the pasta. What about you, Cesar? What is your favorite dish to cook?
So, I don't know. I know that many people don't like soups, but I love soups and I enjoy cooking soups, especially ajiaco, which is a traditional dish here in Colombia, especially in Bogota. It's one of my favorite dishes, actually my favorite dish. And I really enjoy cooking, the potatoes, the corn, chicken, like all the flavor that this dish has is just amazing. And I love eating and cooking this dish. So soups, yeah, especially ajiaco.
Okay, amazing. You need to invite me one day for an ajiaco because I love it too. I'm from Bogota,
Great.
so I love ajiaco. And we
I
have
will.
great answers in the chat as well. Somebody, let me see. Well, 79, 13, 68, 11. Remember, you can change your name and personalize it. I believe you're from El Salvador. Nice to have you here. Says, my favorite dish to cook is fish. I love fish. Gerencia 2150 says, I love pizza. Do you know how to make pizza, Cesar? I don't know, but it's something I want to learn.
Yeah, I have tried. I didn't I didn't bake it all by myself, but I learned from a friend. I did it with a friend. He taught me, and it's really fun. You get all, like dirty, but it's fun. You enjoy baking pizza.
Nice. Okay. So Gerencia 2150 shares here with cheese, ham, pineapple, and pepperoni. Like that sounds like a pizza you would also make, Cesar.
Yes, yes, yes. I love eating a pizza, like all of them. Do you have a favorite one? A favorite flavor? Favorite pizza?
Yes, chicken with mushrooms. I go classic.
Classic.
Yeah,
Okay.
I do not like pizza. I don't like Hawaiian pizza, to be honest.
Hawaiian pizza is the best one. I know many people are going to say, "No, you're crazy. I hate, like pineapple should not be on pizza." But yes, it's a perfect combination. I love it.
I know you love it. I know you love it. I'm not going to get in that discussion because, I don't have anything against pineapple on pizza. I just have a weird relationship with pineapple. So I
Okay.
don't like eating savory dishes.
Uh,
Savory, like salty dishes.
what
Like
about
I don't.
desserts?
Oh, yeah. Give me a, oh, yes.
Different story.
Yeah, that's a different story. Last week, I made a pineapple cake. It was delicious. So give me the pineapple in desserts. I'll eat all of it. Amazing. Okay, we have many more things here, More people fan of soup, mondongo soup. I like that one. Ajiaco, many fans of ajiaco too. I love it. Chicken with rice. Amazing. I love everybody sharing what they like to cook and to eat there. Wonderful. But we already said it is not with you. You are not the teacher. I am not the teacher either. So let's see this video so you get to see who the teacher is and get the invitation from him.
I have two passions in my life, teaching and cooking. My first memory of cooking is when I was 6 years old with my mother in our kitchen. My journey with cooking started there. My first memory of teaching is from 2014 in Bogota, Colombia. I became an English teacher and started teaching executive professionals in the amazing city of Bogota. I have combined my two passions, teaching and cooking, in this workshop for you. And you are also going to cook with me. Together, we will take this journey of mixing English and cooking. I am going to create opportunities for you in this workshop to practice in the context of cooking. Things like inviting your friends for dinner, buying groceries for your dinner, preparing for a dinner party, and finally, we are going to cook 2 dishes together in my kitchen.
My name is Ravi Lakmani, and I want to welcome you to the Basic English Workshop A2 Practice in the Kitchen. So, are you ready to take this journey with me? Let's go.
Okay, amazing. There you have the invitation directly from teacher Ravi. So please share with us all the comments about this course. Share with us the dishes when you make them as well, so we can see. And I love a comment here from Santiago Telles. He says, now I'm starving. Go bring something to eat while we finish the live. Go and get something real quick. And we said we had another podcast to share with you. We have amazing courses, amazing podcast episodes. But for this one, I am not going to tell you who the guest was, but I'm going to let the guest of this podcast to tell you about it, because it's our teacher, Gina. Gina, how are you today?
Hi, Wai. Doing great. Happy to be here.
Amazing. We are really happy to have you here, G, as well. And well, this podcast episode that we released on Saturday, it's about you. Tell us a little bit about it. What do you talk about in that podcast? What happens there?
Of course. Well, that podcast, which we recorded together, and I had so much fun in the interview with you, I'm going to talk about my work experience, how I fell in love with teaching, because originally I did not study to become a teacher or an English teacher. So when you listen to it, all the students, they'll get a feel of how my life kind of directed me towards teaching English, through different experiences, both personal and professional, and some of the lessons that I learned. They'll also get a chance to listen to a fun game that you prepared, and that, well, we had a plot twist, a funny ending to that game that was not scripted. I did not prepare for it, but it just happened because, sometimes
Yeah.
these things happen, but it was really fun. So I hope that everybody joins Spotify, that they can check it out and then tell us what they think about the podcast.
Amazing. Yes. If you have, if any of our students who have heard the podcast before, the interview format, you will see what the plot twist is at the end. Yeah, I have to say, I had so much fun recording with you as well. It was really nice. And well, it's great to know your story. It was very inspirational. So I invite everybody to listen to it and, well, play the game with us there while you're listening to the podcast as well. It's going to be really fun. Okay, G. So for those who haven't heard the podcast yet, tell us a little bit about you. What do you do in Platzi? And what topic are you going to be talking about today?
Of course. Well, welcome everybody to today's live. In case you haven't seen me around, my name is Gina Pedraza. I am part of the English Academy team here at Platzi. I am an in-house English teacher, and you've probably seen me, yes, in some practice sessions if you are attending these fabulous spaces, or in previous lives, because I also participate here regularly. Well, that's my introduction. Now let's go ahead and check today's topic. I have to say, I'm not an expert, but I loved the topic. I loved researching for it. I'm going to share my slides so you can see what today's topic is. Of course, if you're here, maybe you already know and you prepared for it. We're going to talk about startups, but specifically how to set and present goals or objectives if you are in a startup, if you are interested in making this company, this project successful. So let's go ahead and get started. And well,
Jean,
go ahead. Why?
Sorry. Before you get started, I want to make a quick reminder because this is an important moment for it. And it's remember you can activate closed captions before, so they don't miss anything. So you go to the bottom of the page of the image. There you can see CC. You click there and you activate closed captions. You will see them on top, like on top of the image. So go ahead and activate them so you don't miss anything from the class. Now the floor is all yours, Jay. Go ahead.
Important announcement. Yes. Well, before we get into the deeper side or the deeper topics, let's start with a simple definition that is essential to what we're going to be talking about today. And that is, what is an objective? If we want to know how to set objectives to make our startup a successful one, then let's start with the definition. What is an objective? Of course, we want to read all of your comments in the chat, but I have here 3 definitions that you saw if you already took this course, or that you will see if you're interested in taking the course, English for Startups. So the first definition that the teacher gives us in the course is that an objective is the line in the future where we want to get. So let's imagine a timeline from here to where we want to be, and that is our objective. That is the point where we want to reach and to get our startup to, right? Is where we are now compared to where we want to be in days, weeks, months, maybe a year, because we know that it takes a long time to grow in a startup world. Let's check the second definition given in the course. Our objectives are a constant reminder of what we are aiming for. Our objectives are like that little alert, that little alarm that tells us, hey, remember, this is where we want to go. This is what we want to achieve. And our third definition is, or not definition, but something to consider, is that our objectives are what keep our team working towards what? Towards success, because that's what we all want. Before we continue, I want to know in the chat, and I want to hear from Y and Caesar about these definitions of objectives. Do you think we have another one that we should include here? Or how would you define objectives that you have in your personal or professional lives, team? What do you think?
What do you think, why?
Okay, well, I think that definition that you mentioned is great. You mentioned like something very important already. I cannot think of anything else to add, but definitely it's what we want to achieve in the future, right? I think that's the simplest and most concrete definition that I can have of it of my mind. What about you, Cesar?
I agree with G and with you. I think that's a perfect definition to describe, like success in general for your team and for the company.
I have a question, team. Since these definitions were so spot on, they were so clear, I want to know, for what type of projects do you set objectives? Do you have some personal goals that in the past you have decided to set 1, 2, 3 objectives in order to reach? And was that a successful experiment? Were you able to accomplish that goal that you had in mind?
That's a great question. And I think it's very important. Sometimes we think about success and objectives and we think about work, but it's important to have goals in our personal life as well, right? It will help us also be able to focus properly at work if we have personal goals. One very personal, when I, like 8 years ago, 7 years ago, I wanted to run a 5K race. So I set my mind to it and I trained and I trained and trained. And I managed to run 5K, 5 kilometers in 28 minutes. That's, I think, one of the objectives that I have set clearest and I've achieved.
Wow, congrats, because I ran one a couple of years ago and I'm not going to say how long, but it took me much longer than that. So congrats, why? That is what good planning can do.
That's right. And it's something we can apply in our job as well, right? Understand where we're going and set the step to get there.
Exactly. Thanks for sharing, because I do want to make sure that everybody understands that you don't have to be part of a startup in order to have objectives. And we're going to see some important elements of setting those objectives. So let's go ahead and continue with the presentation. Thanks so much, Caesar and Y, for sharing your thoughts and your experiences with this. And of course, the rest of the community can as well in the chat. We'll love to read those comments in a little bit. Well, if we're talking about objectives and if we are talking about success, we have to mention OKRs. Do you know what those letters stand for? I'm pretty sure you do. So let's go ahead and talk about our objective and key results. So important when we want to make sure that our objectives are successful. And why is that? Because they guarantee that they will be clear on one part, and they will be measurable. So in our English for Startup course, you'll see that objectives that you cannot measure will probably be objectives that we will lose track of, that we will not be certain we have accomplished or that we have reached, because we don't have a number. We don't have a date. What is going to happen? When is it going to happen? So I have some examples here of good OKRs, good objectives that are clear and measurable. Let's see some examples for different scenarios. In the first one, let's imagine that this is a store and the objective is to get 50 new paying customers. It is clear what we want to achieve and also the number, yes, that we are striving for, the number that we want to reach in a certain amount of time. It would be different if I said, get new customers. How do we measure that? How would we measure the success? Is it 1? Is that successful? 2, 3 customers? In this case, 50 is our target. Let's see now an objective that a hotel or a booking website would set. Confirm 200 new bookings. Again, we have a clear target and it is set with a number. It doesn't always have to be a number like we see here, 50, 100, 200. It could be a percentage, but we want to know what is the target. Let's see the next example. This is something that maybe I can have as an English teacher here at Platzi in the English Academy. I want to create or produce 10 new courses for our students, for our community. How do I know if I was successful? Well, if I reached the number 10. If I got 9 courses, I was close, but I want to reach 10. And finally, let's see another example. This could be for a food delivery company or app. They would be successful in this objective if they complete 400 deliveries. So as you can see, for any industry and for goals that are personal or professional, we can use OKRs. Clear and measurable. That is the key. We need a number in order to measure our objectives. Team, do we have any comments in the chat? Any questions that we can answer at this moment? Let me know.
Yes, well, G, we have some comments, about the personal objectives they are saying, or they were saying they are very important. Some of them are familiar with what OKRs are, so they were already familiar. Maybe they have seen the course already, which is great. And well, let's see what other comments we have there. But Mochuelo Dev says, I read a post about OKRs yesterday here at Platzi. I recommend it. Yes, please share it with us, and then we'll give you at the end some extra information. And we have some other comments about what SMART objectives are: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time specific to reach it. Amazing. I think they are already going ahead with your presentation, right?
Oh, wow. They're going beyond the presentation. That means that we have a community of very focused individuals. They know what they want to achieve and how they want to get there. So congratulations on that. I want to make sure that if you are new in the world of setting objectives and OKRs, I want to give you some tips of what to avoid. So let's go ahead and check them out. As we have already discussed, we need numbers, we need dates, we need something to hold us accountable. Yes, at the end of the semester, trimester, the first month, whatever the date you have set, we need to review our results and check if we have gotten closer, yes, or if we are halfway there, or on the contrary, if we are so far away from the goal that we have set. And how do we do that? We need to avoid objectives that we cannot measure. So if we said before that we needed numbers, then objectives that we cannot measure are the ones that are way too general and too broad, and in the end don't tell us much. I'll give you 3 examples. 1, to increase sales. Okay, that sounds nice, but by how much? How many clients, or what percentage? How much more money? We need to know by how much. How do we measure the fact that we did increase or did not increase sales? Let's see the next one. Again, very broad, very general, is not telling us much. This is an objective that maybe Caesar, as our lead community content manager here at the Platzi English Academy, could have. Produce new social media content. Caesar, what do you think about this objective? What does that say to you, leading the efforts in all our social media content? Is that a successful objective? Will it lead to great results?
Not really, because I can't really measure this, right? It's not really specific. I cannot really measure producing new social media content. I would have to like break this down a little bit more in order to measure the impact that I will make through social media content.
That's right. This doesn't tell us much. This doesn't tell us much. Let's see the third example, very similar to what we have already seen, to create a new marketing campaign. Here, what we're seeing is intentions, but they are not objectives. Of course, these are great and will probably, of course, be favorable if you're able to follow through and develop strategies and good goals, but they're intentions. And if we do not take action and do not write and work towards actionable objectives, then they will stay as good intentions and nothing more. Okay, team, let's go into the final part of today's class, and that is some very interesting vocabulary that if you want to learn more of, because there's a lot of vocabulary, I just chose 4 key expressions or words, but if you want to learn more, remember that all of this is thoroughly explained in the English for Startup course. But let's see what I'm talking about, and I want a lot of participation here because I'm curious to see if you have ever seen these acronyms. So we have at the top here on the left, MRR. I want to see in the chat if you know what this means. How do we use it? What is this talking about? Over here on the right, I'm going to give you the definition in a moment, but first I want to go over the 4 different words or expressions that I have brought, and then we'll check the definitions and we'll see if you commented correctly in the chat. Here we have active users. Here we have CAC or CAC. And over here, last but not least, LTV. So what does that mean? Has anybody guessed correctly, or what answers do we have in the chat from students? I'm curious because I recently learned about all of these topics, all of these expressions, and they are very useful and necessary in starting a business. So why Caesar? Do we have any comments online? Do we have any students already making their guesses?
Well, I think they are thinking about it, they are thinking about it. What are they? But I agree with you, these are very important terms to set objectives and in the startup world, definitely. So let's see what we have here. Let me check, but in the meantime, as we check the comments that we have here, Cesar, is there anything else you want to add? Any other, do you know any of this, or better, do you not know any of this?
If I didn't know, I think the company would be worried. No, I do know, but I won't give you the answer yet. Okay, I won't. Let's wait for the community to try and guess what these acronyms stand for. Okay, we have one Campos Laura. She says minimum marketable release for MRR. We have Mauro, who says monthly recurring revenue. We have Ismael, who says CAC stands for customer acquisition cost. LTV, P11 Studio says lifetime value. So I think you can now tell us, G, what do these acronyms stand for?
Yeah, Caesar, I did hear some correct answers from the ones that you mentioned. So let's go ahead and check these out. MRR does mean monthly recurring revenue. So how much income or money are we expecting to earn or to bring to the company every month? Active users, as the name says it, how many active users or customers do we have? And we can measure this on a weekly basis or monthly basis. It depends on the product or service that you offer and how you want to keep track of it. CAC or CAC, I did not hear it. I did not see that it was commented on the chat. It's a little more complicated, but actually the explanation is easy. customer acquisition cost. What does that mean? Well, simple. How much does it cost the company to acquire a customer? And is it worth it or not? Are we getting some good revenue? So this is an interesting metric for companies to analyze. Is it more expensive than we thought to get an actual customer? Then we have to reevaluate the company's strategy. And LTV, which was mentioned by one of our students, means lifetime value. So let's think about a customer that is going to be coming to our restaurant, or is going to be buying our service online, or is going to be visiting our bookshop, whatever it is that you are selling to this customer or client. If they stay with you, if they're a faithful customer for 1 year, for 2 years, for 3 years, how much value did they add to your company in that time that they were acquiring your product or service? So again, team, these are very interesting concepts. If you are an entrepreneur, or if you're interested in learning more about the startup world, how to be a part of it, how to start your own company, then go ahead and check out our English for Startup course, where you will see more of these very interesting business and financial concepts. Before we go, before the end of our presentation, I do want to hear from you. What successful startups do you know? And even better, if they are from your own country. Yes, do you know any successful startups in your country that have maybe become what we call unicorns? Yes, these startups that have had interesting and great success, because it's not easy. As we know, the startup world is very competitive and tough. So I want to hear from you. What successful startups do you know? Let's see what our students comment.
Amazing, G. Thank you so much for this presentation. Let's see what startups we get to know today from our students, right? In the meantime, I have to say, at Platzi, we want you to work, to be able to and develop the skills to work in a startup. And all this information is going to help you from us, from English Academy, in the English aspect. So you can learn about startups and speak English and use English related to startups. So you're ready to get into this world, right? Because that's our mission at Platzi, to change lives, to help people learn, take risks, and get into this startup world. Why not? And we have some startups in the chat. We have Rappi. Rappi repeats a lot. Platzi, yes, you're right. Avi, we have, wait a second, my chat starts jumping up and down. Nubank, LinkedIn, Platzi, Rappi, Fravana, Avi, Nubank, Pinterest. Wow, look at all of those startups, G. What do you think about all that list that we have there?
I knew that Rappi was going to be mentioned at some point, because it is a Colombian unicorn, right? That we know has had a huge impact in the way that now we order food, yes, in our delivery service, and not only in the customers, but all the people that it employs. So it's a huge company, and I'm sure that it will keep growing. So I knew it was going to be mentioned at some point. And I have heard a lot about Nubank lately. So interesting. We do have to check it out, maybe do some research and see if there are opportunities there with these type of financial startups. So I like that we had a bunch and a different variety of startups, not just from food delivery, but financial. And I think I heard another one that sounded more technological, but I'm not sure. You named a few. But nice.
I know. And you mentioned something important. A startup can be in different areas, right? Food, technology, education, like Platzi. So yeah, there are different kinds of startups. And thank you so much for that class. Students loved it. They definitely agreed that this is a very important topic. And for all of you that are watching us, next week, we will also be talking about startups, but in a different way. You will learn how to create a discourse to talk about your startup. So join us. And we are going to be with a guest that you have been asking for, with a teacher that you haven't seen for a while. I'll tell you at the end of the live who is going to be our teacher next week, okay? And G, thank you so much. Before we go to our game that Cesar has prepared for us, that I don't know what it is, go get ready, maybe pen and paper. I don't know if we will need it, but go get ready so you come back and we play the game after this video.
Hey, want to jump on the bandwagon with me? Jump on the bandwagon? You don't play an instrument? That's okay, because jump on the bandwagon has nothing to do with actually playing on a band or jumping on a wagon. Jump on the bandwagon means to join in a popular activity that other people are enjoying. So, if you want to jump on the bandwagon with me, it'll be fun. I promise. Come on, jump on the bandwagon and join me at Platzi English Academy.
Yes, learn English now.
Okay, I hope you are all ready. I am personally ready for the game that we have today. This time is surprise for me. I used to have it as a surprise. Now it is a surprise for me. So Cesar, tell us, what do you have for us today?
Well, I have a great game for everybody. Everybody watching this live class is going to practice their vocabulary, okay? And you, Waida, and Yuji, you are going to practice your, let's say, your acting skills and also your skills when it comes to describing words, okay? But before we continue and we start the game, I want to ask a favor from all of you, okay? A favor. I'm going to share a link in the chat. It's a tweet about the course that we launched today. Just 2 hours ago, we launched an amazing course. It's a course on cooking. You are going to be practicing your vocabulary used in the kitchen, and you are going to have lots of fun. So go ahead. I'm going to share the link at this moment in the chat so you can share and spread the word of this amazing course. So everybody, are you ready to play and have some fun and practice your English? Because I am. This game will give you the opportunity to practice your vocabulary, okay? So Waida and Gina, they have different lists of words. I gave them, each of them has a list or 3 lists of different words. This list of words correspond to different categories. But the game is very simple. They are going to have 1 minute, Gina and Waida, they are going to have 1 minute to describe or act the words that you have in the list, okay? You cannot do both. You cannot describe and act at the same time. So for example, if the word is cook, you cannot say, well, this word is when you go to the kitchen and you chop and you cannot, you have to choose one. You describe the word or you act or mime the word, okay? The idea is that everybody guesses as many words as possible. So you need to describe, like the word or act the word as good as possible so that the people, like watching the live class, guess what those words are. Okay. So you will have 1 minute.
Okay.
If let's imagine that Waida begins, right? She starts describing her words. If you guess G or anybody in the chat, if anybody in the chat guesses as well, you can continue Waida to the next word. Okay. And then continue to the next word until the time is up, until the time finishes. Okay?
Sounds good.
Perfect. I'm excited.
I have a question though before we get started. If we are acting out the word, can we make any sounds?
Yes.
Sounds are allowed? Oh, okay.
Yes,
excellent.
I guess. Perfect.
I'm ready.
our dear streamer, Diego, he's going to help us with a timer on the screen. You are going to have 60 seconds, and we need to guess as many words as possible. Waida is going to start. Are you ready, Waida?
I am. Sorry, I have one more question. I need to select one category.
Yeah, so we are going to start with the first category, which is countries. Countries, okay?
Perfect.
And Waira and Gina and everybody watching the
Okay.
live class needs to guess which country you are describing or acting. I think descriptions here are easier, but it's up to you, okay?
Okay.
So,
Does it have to be a description, or can I say a word that relates to that country, for example?
whatever you want to say. The
Perfect.
only thing that you cannot say is the word itself, okay?
Perfect.
Yeah, that's
Love
the
this
only thing.
game.
Okay. Go ahead. So 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay. Countries. So tacos, burritos.
Mexico,
Good. Then we have ajiaco, sancocho.
Colombia,
Good. Caipirinhas, cachaça.
Brazil,
Good. Spicy food, seafood, Machu Picchu, I believe.
Peru.
Is there? Yes. Hot dogs, hamburgers.
The US,
Yes. Paella.
Spain,
Yes. Sushi.
Japan,
Pizza. Pasta.
Italy,
Wine. Wine. Baguette.
Chile. Oh, Paris,
The country.
France,
Yes. Kangaroos.
Australia.
Yes. All the countries.
Very good.
Oh
Amazing.
my god.
That's the idea. Try to find the easiest way to describe, like the word that you are trying to describe. Very good.
Food
So
is always the best way.
I was going to say food was key. It was an instant connection to the place.
now I have a question. Shall we give points to the person who describes or to the person who guesses?
I think both.
Both.
Both? Okay.
Yes.
We
Great.
collaborate here.
All right, perfect. Perfect. Amazing. Okay, let's continue now. Let's move on with Gina. Okay. The
Okay.
first, let me check here your first category. It's going to
Okay.
be buildings.
Okay.
Buildings, okay?
Like places or
Places.
structures.
Structures, yeah, places, buildings, or that you find in a city usually. Okay.
Okay. Why? Focus.
I'm focused here. I love a comment in the chat that says food is always the answer. Yes. Food
I
is
think so
always the
too.
answer.
I think we could all agree. Yes.
Perfect. So
Excellent. I'm
G.
ready.
3, 2, 1, go.
Classroom, education,
School.
student, sick, doctors, nurses,
The hospital,
shopping, stores, restaurants, food court,
supermarket. No, no,
Stores.
mall,
a bedroom, two
House.
beds, one bed,
apartment,
reception,
building,
lobby,
hotel,
booking, very good, payment,
bank,
very good. The Mona Lisa, art,
Museum.
structures, very good. Check-in, pilot,
airport,
stewardess, very good. Soccer, baseball,
Stadium.
stands, excellent. Workers,
construction place, office.
production, workers, production.
Movie
Big.
theater,
No, China. Mass production in
factory.
Jesus, religion.
Time's up. Time's up.
Good.
9 words. 9 words. It was great. It was
Woo!
great. Factory was a bit
Amazing.
hard, but great descriptions. Gee. Yeah, great descriptions. Amazing. 9 words guessed here. Amazing. I want to check the chat. I want to see what people are saying. Yeah, bank, hotel, a museum, airport. Everybody guessed. Amazing. Stadium. Amazing. Perfect. Factory. So let's go with the next one. Waida, your second category. Are you ready?
I am ready, and this category is verbs,
Verbs.
actions.
Very good.
Okay.
Very good. So
Are
are
you
you going to
describing
mime?
or-
I am going to mimic. Yes, I'm going
Uh-huh.
to
Okay,
act a little bit. I'm going to get ready here.
Perfect.
Warm up, stretch.
3, 2, 1, go.
Sleep, Drink. Sing. Dance. Cook. Cook, okay. Eat? No, oh, chew? Okay, eat. Type. Write. Correct? Scold? Punish, scold. Okay. Throw away, throw.
Wow, unbelievable. I thought scold was going to be a bit difficult, but great acting and also great guessing, G.
We make a good team. Caesar, let's do please number 3. Number 2 is very difficult. The category you gave me is very difficult.
Okay, let's do number 3. Number 3 is animals.
Yes, thank you.
Okay? Animals. Are you going to
Ooh, I like it.
describe the word or act it out?
I think I'm going to. Can I do a mix for some act for? Okay,
Yeah.
then
Yeah,
I'll.
but remember, you cannot do both at the same time. You have to choose either one of them.
Okay, excellent. Yes.
Okay,
This is
3,
so much fun.
2, 1, go.
Ruff, ruff, ruff.
Dog,
Meow.
cat, fish,
Bugs Bunny.
bunny,
The character. They're fast. Small.
hare,
No, you already guessed.
Bunny
yeah.
one.
bunny,
Yeah,
bunny.
rabbit.
Okay,
Okay.
rabbit.
Yes.
Okay, rabbit. Monkey,
Very good. They're very slow. They're tiny. They
turtles,
have a shell to protect them. They're slimy.
snails,
Very good. Oh, my favorite animal. They have long trunks. Excellent. The king of the jungle.
lion,
The next one.
snake,
Very good. And ribbit.
frog.
Wow.
Excellent.
Wow. Amazing.
Oh,
Amazing.
God.
I loved how you interpreted the frog sound. The frog. What frog?
Yeah,
Ribbit.
they go ribbit.
Yeah, okay. Oh wow, amazing. I'm going to send the words in the chat because in case that like anybody didn't get one of the words, you can check and practice your vocabulary here. Amazing. So great. 10 words guessed. Let's go with the last and final category. Okay, are you ready, Waida?
Okay, I'm ready. 1 minute, just enough time.
Perfect. So the next
Okay.
category is hobbies.
Okay.
Okay.
That's good.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
Writing.
Mm,
Reading. Drawing. That looks like drawing
Next,
to me.
next,
Coloring.
Okay.
Next one. Dancing.
You play with a ball, this one, and you have some pins that you need to throw.
Bowling.
Yeah.
Cooking.
With plants, what you do with plants and
Water plants. Have a
No, like-
garden.
what's the action?
Gardening.
Yes. Books. Sorry, books.
Read books.
Yeah.
Watch TV. Watch movies.
Yes. With needles, what
Time's
grandmas
up,
do.
Time's
Oh,
up. Time's up. Time's up. Okay, but the first one, what was the first one? It was difficult to guess. What was the first one? Why?
painting.
Painting.
I said drawing, coloring, everything except paint.
You're getting there. You're getting there. Amazing.
Great. We also had video games, knitting, right?
Knitting.
Knitting.
And
Grandmas.
traveling. So let us know in the chat which of these hobbies do you enjoy the most? Okay, so great job. Great. I think you make a great team.
We do.
Great
We
descriptions,
do.
great acting, and great guessing as well. So I hope you had fun, and I hope you practiced and reviewed your vocabulary in English.
Oh,
Amazing.
thanks. That was fun.
It was really fun. Thank you so much, Cesar. I love acting and, food always helps. It was a great game. Everybody was participating a lot. Thank you for your participation. Remember, next week, Tuesday, same time, we will be talking about how to create a discourse. And the teacher is going to be, I need here like this drum sound.
Drum roll?
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. Jess Harris, you had been asking for it. So I hope to see everybody here Tuesday at 6 p.m. Colombian time, 8 p.m. Argentina. And of course, if you're in a different time zone, make sure that you check. It's the same time. Thank you for joining us. Make sure you go to the podcast, to the courses, and let us know what you think about all these spaces that you have to practice your English. We'll see you next week.
I have two passions in my life, teaching and cooking. My first memory of cooking is when I was 6 years old with my mother in our kitchen. My journey with cooking started there. My first memory of teaching is from 2014 in Bogota, Colombia. I became an English teacher and started teaching executive professionals in the amazing city of Bogota. I have combined my two passions, teaching and cooking, in this workshop for you. And you are also going to cook with me. Together, we will take this journey of mixing English and cooking. I am going to create opportunities for you in this workshop to practice in the context of cooking. Things like inviting your friends for dinner, buying groceries for your dinner, preparing for a dinner party, and finally, we are going to cook 2 dishes together in my kitchen.
My name is Ravi Lakmani, and I want to welcome you to the Basic English Workshop A2 Practice in the Kitchen. So, are you ready to take this journey with me? Let's go.